Good evening, friends. Now we are going to discuss about the construction and working of the centrifugal pump. So this is the diagram. We have the diagram which indicates the arrangement of the centrifugal pump, and also we can see the various fittings to be made for operating the machine. So basically, a pump is a machine used for converting mechanical energy of the shaft into pressure energy of the liquid. So therefore, the shaft of the pump will be connected to the shaft of the motor. So motor will be placed behind the pump, and therefore the shaft of the pump will be connected to the shaft of the motor. So if you switch on the motor will be coming into action, and the motor will be converting electrical energy into mechanical energy of the shaft, and finally the pump will be converting mechanical energy of the shaft into pressure energy of the liquid. So this is the principle of operation of a hydraulic pump. So hydraulic pumps are classified. We have two varieties. The first one called as centrifugal pump, and the second one referred to as a reciprocating pump. So initially the motor will be converting electrical energy into mechanical energy of the shaft, and finally the pump will be converting the mechanical energy of the shaft into pressure energy of the liquid. So this is the principle of operation of the centrifugal pump. Now the shaft of the pump here, the shaft of the pump is denoted by the smallest circle. So if you switch on the motor, the shaft will begin to rotate in anti-clockwise direction. So as long as the pump is in a running condition, the shaft of the pump will be continuously rotating in anti-clockwise direction. And secondly, a rotating disc is mounted on the shaft of the pump. So that is called as a impeller, and number of blades are fitted around the periphery of the impeller. So we can see the inner diameter and outer diameter of the impeller. So the first smallest circle used for indicating the shaft of the pump, and the second circle for indicating the inner diameter of the impeller, and the third circle for indicating the outer diameter of the impeller. So we can see a number of blades fitted in between the inner diameter and outer diameter of the impeller. So this impeller is an important component of the centrifugal pump, and which is mainly used for converting mechanical energy into pressure energy of the liquid. So this impeller is mounted on the shaft of the pump. So the shaft will be rotating in anti-clockwise direction. So therefore, the impeller during the operation of the pump, the impeller will be also rotating in anti-clockwise direction. And finally, we can see the arrangement of a casing. So the casing is made in the form of a spiral, and this casing is put around the periphery of the impeller, and this is called as pump casing. So here the water will be flowing inside the casing. The water will be flowing in anti-clockwise direction. So therefore, the casing will be also used for increasing the pressure energy of the liquid. So these are the major components of the centrifugal pump. So firstly, the shaft of the pump placed in horizontal direction. The impeller is mounted on the shaft of the pump. And finally, the impeller is covered by means of a case. So this is the arrangement of the centrifugal pump. Now we can see a reservoir that is formed below the ground level. So that is called as a sump. And one more reservoir is formed above the ground level. That is called as a delivery tank. Therefore, this pump is used for lifting water from the first reservoir into the second reservoir. So therefore, the pump has to be arranged on the ground level. That means in between the two reservoirs. One reservoir formed below the ground level, another reservoir, second reservoir formed above the ground level. So therefore, the pump is placed in between these two reservoirs. That means it is placed on the ground level. So this is the arrangement of a centrifugal pump. Now, secondly, we can see this arrangement of the suction pipe. So we can see the arrangement of the suction pipe. So as the name itself implies, the suction pipe is used for conveying water from the first reservoir into the impeller of the machine. So therefore, the inlet of the pipe is submerged in the first reservoir, and the outlet of the pipe is fitted to the inlet of the impeller. So with this arrangement, the suction pipe will be in a position for conveying water from the first reservoir into the impeller of the machine. So this is the main purpose of the suction pipe. And secondly, a filter is fitted to the bottom of the suction pipe. That is called as a strainer. So this strainer is basically used for removing impurities present in the water. So these impurities will be damaging the blades of the impeller. So therefore, this strainer, this filter is fitted to the bottom of the suction pipe, and therefore it will be removing the impurities present in the water. And secondly, we can see the arrangement of a foot valve. So this valve is also fitted to the bottom of the suction pipe, And when the pump is in a running condition, automatically the foot valve will be coming to open position. That means by virtue of a pressure difference, automatically it will be coming to open position. And if you switch off the motor, automatically this valve will be coming to closed position. So this is fitted to the bottom of the suction pipe. So that's why it is referred to as a foot valve. So this is another important item required for supplying water into the impeller of the machine. And finally, a pressure gauge is fitted to the suction pipe, and it is called as a vacuum gauge. So we have to record the pressure of the liquid that is flowing in the suction pipe, and the pressure of the liquid will be less than atmospheric pressure. So therefore, a vacuum gauge is fitted to the suction pipe for recording the negative pressure of the liquid that is flowing in the suction pipe. So it is called as a vacuum gauge. Pressure gauges are used for recording positive pressures, and vacuum gauges must be used for recording negative pressures of the liquid. And finally, the vacuum gauge is expressed in millimeters of Hg. So the readings, so the reading of a vacuum gauge will be showing the reading in millimeters of Hg. So these are the, items fitted to the suction pipeline. And finally, one more pipeline that is called as a delivery pipeline. So this has to be used for conveying water from the centrifugal pump into the second reservoir. So therefore, the inlet of the delivery pipeline is fitted to the casing, and outlet of the pipe is submerged in the second reservoir. So this way it can be used for supplying water from the centrifugal pump into the second reservoir. So basically suction pipe is used for conveying water from the first reservoir into the centrifugal pump. And finally, delivery pipe is used for conveying water from the centrifugal pump into the second reservoir. So this is also called as a discharge pipeline. And we can see the arrangement of a control valve. A valve is fitted to the delivery pipeline naturally, and it is operated manually. Foot valve is of the suction pipe, it will be operating automatically, and a manual valve, manually operated valve is fitted to the delivery pipeline. So naturally it is used for controlling the quantity of liquid that is flowing in the delivery pipeline. And therefore it is referred to as a control valve. And lastly, one more gauge is fitted to the delivery pipeline that is called as a pressure gauge, and it is used for recording the pressure of the liquid that is flowing inside the delivery pipeline. And this pressure of the liquid will be above atmospheric pressure. It's called as a positive pressure. So therefore, pressure gauge is used for measuring the positive pressure of the liquid. So vacuum gauges are suitable only for measuring negative pressures of the liquid. So they are fitted to the suction pipelines, and pressure gauges are suitable for measuring positive pressures of the liquid. Therefore, they are fitted to the delivery pipelines. So this is the complete arrangement of a centrifugal pump, basically used for lifting water from a lower reservoir to the higher reservoir. And finally, coming to the working of the machine, if you switch on the motor, the pump shaft will be coming into action. So therefore, the impeller will begin to rotate in anti-clockwise direction. So while rotating in this direction, it will be raising the pressure energy of the liquid that is flowing from the inner diameter to the outer diameter of the impeller. So water will be entering at the inner diameter and it will be leaving the impeller at outer diameter. So the area of cross section is increasing in the direction of flow of water. So therefore, the pressure energy of the liquid will be getting increased. So this way, the impeller is used for raising the pressure energy of the liquid. And finally, the liquid that is coming out of the impeller will be entering the casing and it will be flowing inside the casing in anti-clockwise direction. And again, the area of cross section of the casing is also increasing in the direction of flow of water. So therefore, the pressure energy of the liquid will be getting increased. So therefore, firstly, the impeller is used for raising the pressure energy of the liquid. And finally, the casing is also used for raising the pressure energy of the liquid. So these are the main activities of these components. And when the impeller is rotating in anti-clockwise direction, the water will be flowing out into the delivery pipeline. So therefore, a partial vacuum will be developed inside the pump, and this pressure is less than the atmospheric pressure of the liquid that is present in the first reservoir. So therefore, the footwall will be automatically, the footwall will be coming into open position. So long as the machine is in running condition, the footwall will remain in open position. And if the machine is put off, then automatically the footwall will be coming to closed position. And finally, when because of this, arrangement, when liquid is flowing from the pump into the delivery tank, a equal amount of liquid will be flowing from the first reservoir into the impeller of the machine. So this is the principle of operation, and these are the various components, and we have to put all these fittings, very essential for operating this machine. And now we will just, quickly make a review of the various components. So we are going to the second slide. Yes. So this is the about the shaft of the pump. So as already discussed, the shaft of the pump will be connected to the shaft of the motor. So that is essential for transmitting power from the motor to the machine. And it will be rotating, both the shafts will be rotating in anti-clockwise direction. And as already discussed initially, the motor will be converting electrical energy into mechanical energy of the shaft. And finally, the pump will be converting mechanical energy of the shaft into pressure energy of the liquid. So this is about the arrangement of the shaft. Yes. Now we can see the some information about the impeller. So this is a rotating a component, rotating element that is mounted on the shaft of the pump. So therefore, this impeller will be also, rotating in anti-clockwise direction. And we have seen the figure of the machine. Blades are fitted in between the inner and outer diameters of the impeller. The water will be flowing from inner to outer periphery of the impeller. That means water will be entering at inner diameter and it will be leaving the at the outer diameter of the impeller. So this is very useful for converting the kinetic energy of the liquid into pressure energy of the liquid, and thereby it is the impeller, the most important component, is basically used for raising the pressure energy of the liquid. Basically, centrifugal pumps are classified into two categories. In some cases, the impeller is directly covered by means of a casing. If that is the case, it's called as a volute pump. And in some cases, the impeller will be covered by means of a diffuser. So, if that is the case, it is called as a diffuser pump. So, in the case of a volute pump, the impeller will be directly covered by means of a casing. And in the case of a diffuser pump, this diffuser will be placed in between the impeller and the casing of the machine. So, it's a fixed wheel that is put around the periphery of the impeller. The blades are fitted in between inner and outer diameters. The water coming out of the impeller will be flowing from inner to outer diameter of the diffuser. So area of cross section, again it is increasing in the direction of flow of water. So therefore the diffuser will be also raising the pressure energy of the liquid. That means the first stage pressure rise will be taking place in the impeller. Second stage pressure rise will be taking place in the diffuser, and the final pressure rise will be taking place inside the casing of the pump. So these are the details of the diffuser. Yes, we have talked about the casing. So in the case of volute pumps, this casing is put around the periphery of the impeller, and in the case of diffuser pumps, it is put around the periphery of the diffuser. So water coming out of the impeller or the diffuser will be flowing inside the casing, and the area of cross section will be increasing in the flow direction. So therefore, this casing will be also very, very useful for raising the pressure energy of the liquid. So this is the arrangement, and this is the main function of the casing. So we have talked about lastly, we have to talk about the fittings, pump fittings, fittings to be provided for operating the pump. So we have talked about all these things: the suction pipeline for conveying water from the lower reservoir into the impeller of the machine, delivery pipeline for conveying water from the machine into the delivery tank, and we have also talked about the gauges, vacuum gauges to be fitted to the suction pipeline for recording negative pressures, and pressure gauges to be fitted to the delivery pipeline for recording positive pressures of the liquid. So these are the arrangements, additional arrangements to be made for operating the centrifugal pump. Yeah, we have also discussed about the working of the machine. So initially, the impeller will be raising the pressure energy of the liquid. So therefore, high pressure water will be going into the delivery tank. So therefore, partial vacuum will be developed inside the pump, and therefore equal amount of water will be flowing from the first reservoir into the centrifugal pump. So this also we have talked about all these things, and finally we have to remember the main components, namely impeller, diffuser, and the casing. So firstly, the impeller will be raising the pressure energy of the liquid. The second stage, the diffuser will be raising the pressure energy of the liquid, and finally the casing will be in the final stage, last stage. Casing will be also raising the pressure energy of the liquid. So friends, we have discussed about the construction and working of the centrifugal pump. Also, we have talked about the principle of operation. So we have come to the end of the session. So I thank all of you for joining this session. Thank you very much.